Today, we're going to discuss some questions that I got from different managers, founders, leaders, people who are leading, let's say, newer teams, and they feel like their team is not completely showing up. So basically, the team is disengaged. Yeah, and that's obviously kind of affecting their business, that's affecting the rest of the company, and that's definitely affecting the leader or the manager as a whole. So I'm going to pull up these questions that I've received mostly on my private DMs or during Q&A sessions of my sessions of my workshops, and I'm going to answer them one by one. At any point of time, if you feel like you have other questions, please put it in the comments, and I'll pick it up in the next series or the next video of the series. Yeah, all right. Let's begin. This is the first one. Actually, no, this is not the first one, but let me start with this. We will cover last. Okay, so I asked for feedback in meetings and everyone nods silently. Yeah, why aren't they speaking? So this is a very regular or a very common thing that I see, that leaders often feel like, oh, I have an open door policy. Let me ask my team, and I'm very open with my team and stuff like that. And they ask that, hey, give me the kind of feedback that I want, or be very open with me. And you rarely see anyone speak up. You rarely see anyone give any feedback. And when the leader asks for feedback, what the reader is actually expecting is not to hear all the positive things, right? I'm hoping that's the case. But actually something in a way that they are able to gauge what's happening with the team, what's happening with the person. And they are not speaking up, and you feel like they're holding something back, it definitely means that in some shape or form they don't feel like they can open up to you as a manager or a leader or a founder. And they feel like if they say something to you, you might take it personally, and that might affect their stance in the company. And obviously that's not a nice thing for them to say or do, right? And they obviously do not want to be the bad person or villain over here. So what you can do is actually perhaps anonymous feedbacks work. I've seen that many companies do anonymous feedback, but make sure that the feedbacks are actually anonymous in nature, which means that it should not go out from the email ID of one of the founders or a common email ID. There are many other tools that you can use, or maybe bring in an external person to conduct these sessions. I do a bunch of them for other organizations. But yeah, that is one way to kind of gauge and understand stuff. And also you open the platform for people to also tell you things beyond just the meetings. If this meeting is happening, let's say in a group setting, you don't want people don't want to necessarily point out mistakes or give critical comments, right? Because obviously it's not a nice thing to, especially if you're doing that for someone in a senior role. So perhaps tell them, hey, you can let me know in the chat, and if I really want to improve. So you've got to really build that trust with the team so they know that it's not going to backfire on you. All right. Okay, on to the next one. How do I notice somebody? How do I notice someone is shutting down even when they don't say anything? Okay, this is a very interesting thing. First of all, I feel like every leader, manager, founder, specifically people who are leading teams on a day-to-day basis, be on the lookout for this. You have to you have to have a sense of your team, and the way they're functioning. So if you feel like someone's shutting down, the best way to go about this is either to kind of, if you have a rapport with them, speak to the person directly, and try and figure out, if sometimes people don't shut down for things that are happening at work, but it could potentially be something that's happening in their personal lives as well. So just have a maybe a non, I wouldn't say professional, but yeah, like a non-work check-in call. Like, hey, can we catch up for some coffee, or just let's take a walk? Or if you're a remote team, just be like, hey, this is just a catch-up call, and mean it. Don't talk shop with them at all, and try to understand that is everything okay. And I feel that if you have a smaller team, it's good to actually have those connects either ways. Don't wait for anyone to shut down and then start doing all these conversations. Just have that rapport with the team where the team knows that you really care about them. Yeah, you don't have to get super personal, but a few things here and there. When you ask people how you're doing and how was your weekend, mean it. Have that conversation, have a couple of exchanges, and then go do your shop talk. Yeah. All right. The next question is, am I creating an environment where it's safe to speak? Okay. Well, if this is a question that you are asking yourself, you know the answer, which means that you have a feeling that your team is not feeling safe to speak up. So what do you do? Well, first of all, kudos for you to kind of figure this out. And the second thing is also good that you want to kind of solve this problem. I guess what I would like is perhaps be a little vulnerable with the team. The team does not want to speak up, is particularly because, see, if everything is going right, then people want to share things that things are going right. What safety essentially means is that the team should also be open to share if things are going wrong, or if they feel like they have messed up, or if they feel like something is going out of their control. So perhaps when you have talk with the team, or you have your usual sessions, meetings and stuff, talk to them about things that you have messed up in the past when you were starting the business, or when you were at their age or at their experience. So they know that it is safe for them, that the manager or the founder is not perfect. Everybody can make mistakes. And so they also open up, and you have to reinforce it over and over again. Yeah, you gotta tell the team what you feel about mistakes and failures. What is your stance on it? Are you one of those people who feel like everything has to be perfect all the time, or are you one of those people who is openly saying that, hey, if you we have a mistake, if there's something that's gone wrong, let's own it up. You should also own up when things go wrong, and let's solve it as a team. Are they going to feel like you're going to point fingers, you're going to criticize them in public? All these questions need to be answered, like, slowly, not very directly, but slowly. You got to build that trust with them. Okay. The next one is, what's one simple thing I can say or do right now to invite openness? Take them outside the office, I feel. All these meetings that we generally have are in a very boardroom kind of setup, and it gets very, um, the environment itself is too uptight. Yeah. So perhaps just go out for lunch sometime, just make people feel easy and simple. Have these conversations, joke a little bit here and there. Again, not too much, because you also have to have that professional boundary, but just ease up, lighten up, and allow them to also be themselves. Again, this cannot happen overnight. I appreciate that you have the intent of making it happen, but um, as someone who has been on the other side of the table, I'm gonna really figure out. Sometimes we're very skeptical. Why is this person being so nice to me? What can I do about it? So make sure that it's not a one-time thing. That one of these days you're very fun and jolly and you're joking around, and the other day you're like very serious, and that you continue that seriousness all year round. And once a year you want to be frank and open and friendly. That cannot happen. Right? It has to be a consistent personality that you show. And finally, this is what we had started with, and I said that we'll come back to this later. If trust is broken, how do I rebuild it in a real way? First, we'll be opening up and owning up to your mistakes. If trust is broken and you feel like you have done something as a leader or a manager, and you feel like the team, or few people in the team, or one particular person in the team does not trust you anymore, now you got to have a heart to heart chat with them and be like, hey, you know what? I really messed up. I should have done this, and show that integrity as a leader, and be like, hey, I could have done this better, and I'm also learning, and as a team, we got to have each other's back. And once you own up, that is a very big deal. Many managers don't do that, so it will be very surprising and shocking to your team if you really do that. And the second part is also to keep that up, right? So the next time something happens, don't go back on your word. Don't go back and point fingers at other people, because these everybody knows who's in charge of what, and you keep that up, and you slowly, you bit by bit, you have to build it back. Yes, again, like I said, that unless I know exactly what was done because of which the trust was broken, this is very vague, as a question, very broad, but I tried to answer it in the best way possible. Yeah. All right, so that was that. I hope you enjoyed this mini series. I want to bring these back and answer all the questions that I get from various places during my conversations and everything. No matter where you're watching it, on YouTube, LinkedIn, on any other place, please put your other questions in the comments, and I'll pick it up, and bring it back in the next segment. I'm connected on LinkedIn. In case you are not connected to me, to please go and connect with me on LinkedIn, and I would love to sort of stay in touch with you. I also do a lot of these different kinds of events in multiple cities. I would love to meet you in person as well. And I am also trying to build my following a little bit on Instagram. So if you're there, would love to connect with you there as well. And so I will see you in the next stream. Stay tuned and have a good day. Cheers.